Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I just want to make a very quick video on the normal distribution bell curve. It's standard deviation, right? This one here. Okay. So now this is why I think corporate life is not for everybody. Like, first of all, I would just want to discuss who is corporation and the bureaucracy designed for, right? Who is it designed for? It's designed for 70% of population. All right, so 34 plus 34, roughly 70%, right? So these people are average Joes that vary between being an like really low life average Joe to being a high performing average Joe. But they are still average Joes. They are the sheep of the population, right? They are the people who have no independent thinking, but they are very, very good at following orders. Exceptionally good at following orders, all right? So these are the sheep. These are the average Joes. They're about 70% of population, okay? So now they fit into bureaucracies perfectly. They are raised, bred, groomed to work in a bureaucracy, all right? So where will they shine? They will shine in school, they will shine in college, they will shine in bureaucracy, right? They will never question the script, okay? So what is the script? The script is very simple. You go to school, you go to college, you get an education, you get a girlfriend in college, you get your first job, you get married, you buy a house, you have 2 kids, one dog, or it could be a cat, a goldfish, that's it. And then rinse and repeat. The kids do exactly the same. Okay. This is these people here. All right. Now, these people are the low end of the bell curve. Okay, so these people are, this here statistic, they are disabled people, I would say, right? They are people who just cannot, they're just born unfortunately, right? Like people with diseases and stuff like that, they would be in here, right? These are just criminals, social welfare people, etc. They kind of can work. They are outliers, but they are the bad apples, outliers, right? Now, this is where um, this is where the gold is. This is where the diamonds are, right? So these guys and these guys have some characteristics in common, which is they don't fit into the system here, and they disagree with the system as well, right? Now, notice that kind of a lot of successful people, they tend to have they will have some characteristics with criminals. Why is that? Because they do also disagree with the system. They are also gonna take shortcuts and do what they think is right against the norm. Does that make sense? Like criminals do that as well. They disagree with the government system. They think that they have potential to speed, so they go ahead and they drive, right? Over the limit. Criminals do that, so do the successful people. They don't fit into the norm, right? So what I'm saying is that if you're the type of guy that is consistently like just not fitting in, you could be in here. Now, people gonna straight away label you and tell you that you're in here, but if you look at your performance, it's very important to be very accurate about who you are. Very, very important, right? You have to keep statistics on who you are, how you think, how you perform, what you do per day. Now, if you don't fit and your statistics tell you you're a superstar, you're probably in here. All right. So why am I saying this? Is what I'm saying is don't get demoralized if you don't fit into the bureaucracy and the standard way of life. You don't fit the script, right? That's probably because you're here and you are born to do something great. So just keep going keep setting up your goals, keep working on yourself, constantly upgrade yourself, right? And under no circumstances do you go back in here and try to fit in, right? Do not do that because you're gonna kill yourself, right? Doing that, it's gonna be like a suicide. In fact, I would probably go as far as to say that if you are going to do that, you probably in 5 to 10 years you will actually commit a suicide because you technically kind of like spiritually you killed yourself. Do you know what I mean? And you have to understand that if you are this person, if you are this person here, you will not be able to ever find fulfillment, happiness with these people here because they are the ship of the organization, they are the ship of the society, right? You have to understand the way they think, how they act, what they say, how they behave, how they teach their children, how their wives behave, how their colleagues behave, how their friends behave, how they people on wedding, on parties behave. They are not for you. They are not for you, right? You will simply drown with them. Like it's a different type of animal, right? Like the sheep, like the average Joe's, like the reason why I know that is because I'm like in this statistic here, and like I know I spoke to those people, I worked in corporations. They are different type of animals. They are completely different to you, right? They would be the good kid in the high school. They would be the type of child that the parent likes. Well, not the billionaire parent will not like them. Like the self-made multimillionaire, the billionaire parent will not like this child. Now, the average middle class parent will love this child. Why? Because they will never question the mother, ever. The mommy says wash the dishes, he's going to go wash the dishes, even though he has just done tests and he realizes that he is gifted in certain areas. For example, it could be art, it could be music, it could be mathematics, it could be sports, right? But the way he's mentally wired, he's going to, how to say, he's going to do what the authority tells him regardless of what he thinks is right. Does that make sense? Right? People in here die. Like in here, there's a good saying. Um, the biggest irony or the most saddest thing in life is that people go into the grave with their music still in them. This applies to these people here. Because some of these people in here are gifted, but the problem is their mentality is just that they will never question authority and they die without being able to fulfill their potential. Now, these kids here, they are the millionaires and the billionaires, right? Now, they have a very tough life because they're going to be consistently labeled as if they were these guys, but they're not. They are in here. So, what they will do, they will tell mommy, I'm not interested in your dishes. It's a low priority task. You go do the dishes or don't do them at all because I want to focus on doing music. I want to focus on doing sports. I want to focus on doing finance. I want to focus on doing programming. Whatever it is that they feel they excel at and they feel that they're good at, they are going to do. Their parents, of course, is not gonna like them. Why? Because he will say, "Go take out the trash." He'll say it's a waste of my time. I'm going to do something different, right? The mommy wants him to be a lawyer, but he wants to be a programmer, right? Mommy wants him to be a student in biology, but he wants to be an A student in physics, all right? So just be careful, right? What I'm saying is if you find, first of all, you have to measure yourself, right? If you cannot measure it, you cannot improve it. And measuring your output gives you a clear picture of who you are, right? If you find yourself being a high performer, independent thinker, and when you're focused, you're consistently excelling, right? Do not downgrade yourself to this level. Do not downgrade yourself. Okay. In fact, go on welfare and manifest your talents, right? Do not join this because as soon as you join the sheep, they will drag you down. They will drag you down to their level. Okay. I'll give you an example in corporations. Like, example, Kobe Bryant, like he's a basketball player. He bought shoes that gave them like 0.1 second speed advantage because they were like super light. They cost a fortune. I think it was like 10,000 or something per pair, but they gave them a tiny advantage, right? Now, in here, you won't be able to do that because even if you have software or some kind of shoes or gear that gives you an advantage, you will not be able to use it because you get to use what the corporation tells you get to use. Does that make sense? So even if you create some kind of advantage, you have tools that can create advantage for you, you won't be able to use them because the corporate policy is going to stop you from using them. So you will never be at top performance. Why? Because the corporate policy dictates the speed at which you're going when you're in here, right? Think of it as a tree, all right? So you can control the size of the tree, so how tall the tree is, depending on the pot size, right? So for example, if you don't want the tree to grow, just don't change the pot. It will it will try to spread the roots, but eventually it will be hindered by the pot and it will never be able to increase its size because the pot disallows it. So corporate policy is like a pot. It will stop you from growing, right? Because you have to understand corporation is set up to service the shareholders. It's not designed to help you. It's designed to sacrifice you in the name of the corporation, right? You are the ant inside the corporation, which is an ant farm, and you are there as a sacrifice. You are not there as an asset. You are there as a meat shield, right? In the name of the shareholders. All right. So any attempt to grow yourself out of your role will be met with massive hostility, right? Because they have a structure in place that you have to follow. It could be something like you start in the company at the lowest level. You have to work 9 months before you go to the next level. And once you go to the next level, you again have to work 1 to 2 years to go to the next level, etc., etc., etc. It's like a queuing system. And any attempt to accelerate that process is going to be met with a hostility. All right. This suits these people really well because they are okay with the queuing system and they are okay with kind of following orders. They don't want to think by themselves. Now, if you are from here, you will die in this environment. There's a good saying, right? There's a good saying. If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will forever think that it's inadequate, right? So if you are this person here, you would be like an eagle, right? And this would be like a pond, right? Or a lake, right? So putting an eagle into a lake, you won't be able to swim really well because you're not designed for swimming, right? So what I'm saying is, if you're crying or whatever at night, thinking to yourself, why are you different? Why are you unique? Measure your performance. If you find yourself you are underperformer, now you gotta step up your game, dude. All right. Now, if you find yourself that you are a rock star, it's just that you don't agree with this system here. Keep going. You're on the right track. You will manifest yourself. Just keep hustling. All right. And under no circumstances ever go down to this level because these are sheep and we don't deal with them, right? We take it to the next level. Take care.